18 years before 2026 arrived, American Hot Rod had already experienced the losses that would define its legacy. And despite rumors that still circulate online, none of its cast members ended up behind bars. 2 familiar faces died, one of them while the cameras were still rolling, and the death of founder Boyd Coddington ultimately brought the entire series to an end. But here's the surprising part. The cast member who died during production wasn't the tragedy that killed the show. So what really happened? When American Hot Rod first aired, it quickly became one of the most recognizable car-building shows on television. Viewers watched real crews race against impossible deadlines inside Boyd Coddington's shop in La Habra, California. Tempers flared. Employees came and went. Expensive custom builds pushed everyone to the limit. The drama felt different because it wasn't scripted. It was real. And that reality helped turn the show into a hit. But there was one thing that made American Hot Rod different from almost every other reality series. The entire show revolved around one man. Boyd Coddington wasn't just another television personality. Long before cameras entered his shop, he was already considered a legend in the custom car world. Many automotive writers compared him to a master craftsman, someone whose work set the standard for everyone else. People tuned in to see the incredible vehicles, but they stayed because of the tension, the rivalries, and the pressure that came with working for Boyd. Every major decision went through him. Every important customer trusted him. Every build carried his reputation. And that created a problem nobody saw coming. On February 27, 2008, Boyd Coddington died at the age of 63 after complications following surgery. What happened next explains why searching for American Hot Rod cast members in 2026 can be confusing. There was no active cast anymore. Just a few months after Boyd's death, his shop permanently closed its doors. The business that powered the show no longer existed. The series wasn't cancelled because ratings dropped. Producers didn't search for a replacement. The entire operation ended because the man at its center was gone. But before Boyd's death brought down the show, another tragedy had already shaken the crew. And this story is even more unexpected. Roy Schmidt was never the loudest personality on American Hot Rod. He wasn't known for arguments or dramatic confrontations. Instead, he earned respect through his skill and craftsmanship. As a fabricator and sheet metal specialist, he helped shape many of the custom vehicles that viewers watched come together on screen. His steady presence made him one of the most valued members of the team. Then everything changed. On October 27, 2005, Roy Schmidt died at the age of 64 after battling lung cancer. What makes his story so unusual is the timing. Production was still underway when he passed away. The crew was filming Season 4, including the episode known as 54 Corvette and 55 Chevy. While cameras continued recording daily life inside the shop, employees were quietly dealing with the loss of a colleague and friend. Very few reality shows have ever faced a situation like that. The team couldn't simply stop. Customers were waiting. Deadlines still existed. Cars still had to be finished. So production moved forward. Viewers watching those episodes had no idea they were seeing a crew working through real grief behind the scenes. Roy's final appearances remain part of the series today, making him the only known cast member to die while American Hot Rod was actively filming. But as tragic as that loss was, an even bigger crisis was waiting just a few years later. And this one would end everything. When Boyd Coddington died in 2008, the custom car world lost one of its most respected builders. He had spent decades earning a reputation for innovation, craftsmanship, and award-winning designs. He won America's Most Beautiful Roadster award 7 times, including 6 consecutive victories. 2 of his creations even became part of the permanent collection at the Peterson Automotive Museum. By the time American Hot Rod premiered, Boyd was already a giant in the industry. Then his health suddenly declined. Following surgery for a perforated colon, complications including sepsis and kidney problems developed. As a longtime diabetic, his body faced additional challenges. When he passed away, the consequences extended far beyond television. Without Boyd, There was no realistic future for the shop that carried his name. Customers came because of Boyd. The builds existed because of Boyd. The business depended on Boyd. And when he was gone, the entire foundation disappeared with him. The shop officially closed on June 20th, 2008. Just like that, American Hot Rod was over. Not because of ratings. Not because of network decisions. Because its founder died. But what happened to the people left behind? One name that often sparks curiosity is Dwayne Meyer. As shop foreman, he appeared throughout all 5 seasons and became one of Boyd's most trusted employees. After the show ended, Dwayne opened his own business, American Hot Rods Incorporated, and continued building custom vehicles. But his life after television wasn't without problems. In 2016, Dwayne was involved in a drunk driving incident. That's where many online rumors begin. Some people assume he ended up in jail. He didn't. The incident never led to incarceration. Then, in 2019, he faced another challenge when he underwent brain surgery following an accident. Despite those setbacks, he remained active in the automotive industry. But here's where things get interesting. The cast members who faced the most dramatic exits weren't dealing with criminal charges at all. They were dealing with rivalries. Charlie Hutton became one of the most memorable personalities on the show before leaving during season 2. His departure happened in the middle of a major build and created one of the series' most talked about moments. Yet leaving Boyd's shop turned out to be the beginning of a successful new chapter. Charlie later opened his own paint business in Idaho and built a respected reputation in custom automotive paint. He even worked alongside legendary builder Chip Foose on award-winning projects. Then there was Mike Curtis. As machine shop supervisor, he played a key role in many builds. But his departure came after it was discovered that he had been working for Chip Foose on the side. That detail mattered because Chip Foose and Boyd Coddington had a long and complicated rivalry. Once Mike's side work became known, his time at the shop ended almost immediately. What makes these stories so fascinating is that none of them involve the dramatic arrests or prison sentences people often assume. The truth is much less sensational. Careers changed. Loyalties shifted. Employees left. Some were fired. Others found success elsewhere. But nobody ended up behind bars. By 2026, the surviving cast members had scattered across different corners of the automotive world. Dwayne Meyer continued running his shop. Dan Chicago Sobieski quietly pursued fabrication work through his own business. Charlie Hutton built a respected name in custom paint. Chris Coddington remained connected to the family legacy, while Joe Coddington continued managing business ventures tied to Boyd's brand. And that brings us to the reality behind the rumors. Only 2 cast members from American Hot Rod are known to have died. Roy Schmidt passed away during production in 2005. Boyd Coddington died in 2008, and his death ultimately ended both the shop and the television series. Every surviving cast member remains alive in 2026. Despite years of speculation, there are no cast members sitting in jail. In the end, American Hot Rod wasn't destroyed by crime, scandal, or legal trouble. It was brought down by something much simpler and much sadder. The loss of the man who made it possible in the first place. When Boyd Coddington died, the show died with him. And nearly 2 decades later, that's still the part of the story that surprises people most.